Hey, universe and mining family. Grab your shovels and your pickaxes. Welcome to the show. I'm Nemesis, and of course, I'm not your babysitter. Do your own research, but let's dig in. Yo, Crypto Nation and mining family. What's going on, everybody? Looks like I'm gonna wait a little bit here, see if I can get everybody to start showing up. So I got my man D-Tech into his house. Yo, Cortic, my man. So I got a couple of my favorite people here. So where are the rest of you guys? And if you're all here, and if you haven't done it yet, definitely smash that lizardy like button, guys. Yo, I mean, look at my little troll dude. I mean, he's awesome, isn't he? So I've got some really real good, cool information for all of you guys. So if you're wondering how to build a rig, guys. So for some of you guys are going to be veterans. Some of you guys are not going to be such veterans, and this is going to be more for the not so much veterans. And then if any of you guys that have your rigs just sprawled across a table, this might be a lesson for you. Yo, Crypto Mikkel, my man. I knew you wouldn't miss one of my shows, my man. So definitely got some really cool stuff going on. First off, we'll definitely start off with some of the basics. Now, a lot of the stuff that I have gotten over here, yo, I got all pretty much used. So I'm not sure if the CPU was used or not, or if that was new. It looked like it was open, so I'm just going to assume that it was used. And with that being said, it's a 3900 series CPU, and I will be putting some of this MX4 on there. If there's no thermal grease on this thing, I'm kind of expecting there not to be. And then some of I would have done this build yesterday, but I was actually waiting on risers. Now, I had a couple of risers already, but not enough for the whole build. So I had one of these, which these ones are, when you're first mining, 9 times out of 10, this is the one you get first, the blue bad boy. This is the version 6. I mined on this one to pieces and back again. This one will work. And then it gives you temperature errors after about 2 days worth of usage on it. So it got pulled off the mine. So this was the version 6. I don't have any of my version 8s, but I have let's see here. I got a version SU103. Which this one is actually a little bit better. I mean, you can see the difference. So this one has got SATA connection, Molex, and 6-pin in there. And the 6-pin is the same 6-pin that you would use on a graphics card. So think about that, guys, when you're getting your GPUs. And yo, my man Crypto and Culture, yo, I'm glad you made it. This one's for you. You're gonna get a kick out of this. You're gonna get to watch me build a rig from start to finish. Yo. So I was just kind of going over all the stuff. So just a real recap just for you, Crypto and Culture, just because you're one of my home dogs from the Yen Island. So if you guys haven't checked it out, definitely check out that Yiggity Yen, yo. But Crypto and Culture, all that good stuff over there on the couch, yo. That stuff's going to be going into, let's see if I can get it to point right. I'm going to put it all into that frame right there. Oh, tingles in the podgy, guys. Tingles in the podgies. So everything that I got pretty much is, like I was saying, Crypto and Culture is used. So I use this stuff, the MX4 or Arctic Silver, for the thermal compounds on my CPU. When it comes down to doing GPU maintenance, this is my go-to. So, but like I was saying, kind of moving along now. We were talking about risers. And so this one's got the SATA connection on there, Molex and 6-pin, where this one's only got the 6-pin in here. So you can already see that this one is already limited. And then this one, I kind of went all out for. I wanted to see what these good, really good risers were all about. I was curious, so I forked up the little extra dough for it. Check this out. The version 9s. Legit, guys.
That was legitness. Yeah.
So, if you can see where the graphics card actually plugs in, there's actually metal around there to kind of support everything. Whoa. So you can already tell this is way more heavy duty. Then you can see it's got a lot more capacitors on there. Still got the SATA, Molex, and 6-pin on there, but everything just looks beefier. I mean, even to this one, which I thought this one was pretty decent too. I really haven't had, I think I've had one go bad on me. Out of 12, one went bad. So I was seeing this one and I was like, you know, I've heard of a few people making references on this one going, this is the bad boy and this is the one you want. So if you're willing to spend a little extra money, I'm going to be checking this one out. So hold up on a review. I'll definitely be giving my comparison between the two, see if I find any dead ones, or if any of them just kind of you know, what ends up happening is you'll power your rig off, you'll turn them back on, and my suspicion is that when this thing powers back up, it wipes out the little processing chip on there. Kind of why I wanted to go with something a little beefier. So that's just me, but again, I will give a review on this for long-term usage. So here to learn. Yes, my man, you have come to the right place, Crypto and Culture. Yo! And I do, guys, for anybody that has never seen Crypto and Culture, you should check out his YouTube channel. Same thing with my man, Crypto Mikkel. Crypto Mikkel is also my co-host on Decentralized TV for anybody who hasn't been here, that's new to here, or any of that good stuff, watching this later on. Ooh. So, I think at this point we should start getting into some of the build on this. So, first thing you want to do is actually just kind of start off with building the motherboard first. It's always easier to build the motherboard out of the rig, because if you've got to press in the RAM in there, and it's easier to grab the back side of the board to slot it in there properly, because you got to make sure they click on both sides and sit all the way down, otherwise you're going to have some weird errors. One of our guys on that Yen Island had an issue with that we had to kind of help him out with, and not an issue at all, guys. So without any further ado, let's dive into this one. So go ahead. So I'm starting off with the H110 Pro BTC Plus. I've actually have not had a single problem with running any of these. They typically work right out of the box. There is one slight little issue, and I'll actually dive into that one right now. So let me go ahead and pull it out. So it comes with all your typical stuff that you would see a computer with, an instruction manual in multiple languages. If you were putting this motherboard into an actual PC, which I don't know why you would do that, but they give you a rear, what they call a rear I/O plate. It helps affix it to the case you're using it in. The only other thing I could think of really using this is if you're putting this into a server case, and then it just kind of makes everything look nice and clean. It's just a beauty panel. Then it comes with cables for your memory. So if you're using disk drive or SSD, boom. Then it gives some Molex to 6-pin adapters. Huh, that's interesting. Right in the box. Not that I would really use it. Disc that I've never used. I mean, even my current PC, I don't even have a disk drive in here. So, ooh, check this out. Oh, this one is. Ooh. Ooh. This is awesome. I love this stuff. So this is the H110 mining motherboard, guys. Yo! So let me give you guys a little bit of a rundown on this particular board. So these two Molexes, the Molex that's right here and the Molex that's right here, they need power. Between these two, they give power to all the ports. The top one gives power to the black ports. Bottom one gives power to the white ports, I believe. Don't quote me on that. I just hooked both the Molexes up to power it. I don't know if something on the board also is deriving any kind of power off of this particular Molex. So I just plug them in just because that's what the instructions tell you to do. Don't worry about delidding this. When you put the CPU in, I'll show you. It just pops off automatically. Yo. And let's see here. Go ahead and put this down. And let's see here. Should I put the RAM in? Should I ram the RAM or put the CPU in? I'm gonna put the CPU in first. So bam. So the one that this came with, whenever I bought all this stuff off of my man Wasabi Ninja, oh, Mikhalis wants me to ram it. Ooh. Oh, that's so sexual. Ooh, tingles. Y'all ready for this? Bow, 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 bow. We'll do it just for you. All right. So, when you're putting the RAM in, usually one of the sides will at least flip down. Not always both sides. On this particular board, it's only this side. This board takes DDR4 RAM. You don't have to have the fastest speed, doesn't have to be the most. I would recommend a minimum of 8 gigabytes or more, depending on the algorithm that you are running. You might want a better CPU, like if you're trying to mine some of that MTP algorithm, some of the process finishes up into the CPU, so you got to have a good one. You can't just get the cheapest thing on the market, not gonna work. So let's go ahead, without any further ado, put this bad boy right on in. Now, when you're putting it in, there's like a little divider part right here, and if you see on the RAM, bam, there's a little notch in there. Make sure the notch is facing properly, so just kind of slides right in there. And as you see, now from here, this is where you grab the back side of the board, just like this. And let's see if I can get it to click on here. Bam, just like that. You hear it slotting both sides. Yes, nerd, you are 100% right. You can use 2400 speed. It will just clock you down. 100% correct. All right. So let's go ahead and drop this other one in there. Now, if you notice that I'm taking the logo and I'm facing it away from me, because that's how it is in this particular motherboard. But always just double check before you click it in. Don't want to ruin anything. Bam. Just like that. And now it's starting to look like a regular PC. I mean, for the most part, it's just a normal PC with just extra slots in there to put more graphics cards. And then the BIOS is made to handle it. Let's go ahead and clean up my little workbench a little bit here. All right, so let's go ahead and put this in now. All right, pull you out. Oh, he didn't give me a fan in this. Oh, snapples. That's fine. I have another fan. Oh, there's supposed to be a fan in there. He kept the good fan. Believe it or not, the Intel fans are beast for mining. They last. Let me go into my mining room real quick. Don't go anywhere, guys. I'll be right back. It takes 2 seconds. Well, maybe a little longer than 2 seconds. All right. I hope it wasn't too long. So, I've got another CPU, but it can't be used in this particular board because it's a generation 2 new. It's like 8th gen. This motherboard excludes 8th gen. So, but what I can do to this is rob the cooler fan. It's got usable parts. Alright, so this is the little fan that I was talking about. These fans are pimp. Dude, they don't die. It's like this thing takes a licking and keeps on ticking. Yo. Oh yes, nerd. They usually come with thermal paste on there. I've never had an issue with these ever. Never, never, never. They just last forever. I've even mined with these on there and not had an issue. And this one was used, so it doesn't have any more thermal paste on there. Womp womp. So, make sure I'm grabbing the right one, the 3900, sweet. So, all right. Oh yes, Mikkel, that'd be awesome to get one of those really nice logo banners. Yo. All right, so handle these things with a little bit of care, guys. You don't want to be sitting there rubbing this side of it. That would be bad. So the first thing I usually do is I could sit there and take this and just lift it straight up. So bam, it's like a little lid. Woo. All right, so these pretty much can go in only one way for the most part. There's a little arrow on here. There's a corresponding little arrow indent on here. And just because I happen to know how this one goes together, but bam, just like that. So it goes in there just like that. There's a little arrow notch right here. And then on the back side, it's harder to see, but there's like two little grooves in there. It kind of helps let you know the orientation of everything. And then you just go ahead and close this down. And then bam, like I said, you do not need to take this off. It pops off automatically. Yo! Alright, so. And I put this down out of my way. So I'm going to need to put a little bit of this on the chip. Now, you don't need to go like gangbusters with it. I usually put like a little thin X on there It usually works. I haven't had any issues. I've seen some other techniques of people putting dots down that works too. So let's go ahead. Get my little X on there. Bam, just like that. All right, just like that. And yeah, as a lot of people say, there's no free lunches here, guys. So X marks the spot. Now I've seen people do dots on there, you know, like a bunch of little dots with a couple of big dots in the hot little localized area. I've never had an issue running it like this, but that's just the me. All right, now I've never really known a good or a bad way about putting the fans on here. So bam, go ahead and orientate you just like this. And now there's little holes on the motherboard that literally I take these little things and I stab them in. Bam. And if I take the little foam off the back that I've been holding on to, you can see that the little tabs came through the motherboard. Bam. Just like that. So now you know that that's in there the right way. Now, as you see, there's a little plug here. Now, I'll get up and show you guys. So this right here is the CPU fan controller header. You have to have it plugged in, otherwise the motherboard will not try to even bother to fire up. It's like a preservation, so if it's not there, it's gonna be like, nope, I don't want to damage anything. So bam, just like that. And if you want to make your wiring look really nice and fancy, you can sit there and you tuck it just like that, and then bam, look, wire management. Ooh, just like that, guys. So now this is actually ready to go into the rig frame where we can start actually building that out. So without any further ado, let's jump right into that one. So bam, go ahead, because we're going to be eyeballing all of that goodness right over there. And let me hide this pretty little face because I'm going to sit down over there because the frame is so big and I don't want it to scratch my wood table. I've already done that once. I'm not trying to do that twice with a bigger rig frame than this. So let's jump right into it. Bam. Alright, guys, so I'm gonna bring the microphone down low if it lets me. Of course, you're all tangled up. It never fails that I get one wire where it doesn't need to be. Alright, there we go. If you guys, I just accidentally muted my mic, so I was actually talking for a second and nobody heard me. Yo, awesome. So if you guys got any questions, definitely stop me at any point in time as I'm going through all of this. I can see my chat rolling right now, so it's not an issue. So whenever you're building a double-decker rig frame like this, the most important thing to do is remember the location of the motherboard to the location of the lengths of wire you have. And what I mean by that is that those little risers that plug into the motherboard, into the graphics card, has a wire that's only so big, guys. So you got to remember that this has got to be able to reach the motherboard and your graphics card's riser. Moving my chair out of the way so I can see stuff on my computer. And then if you don't have enough SATA or anything like that, it does come with a SATA to 6-pin adapter. I don't know why you just wouldn't run the SATA directly to it, but if you needed the little extra length, this would probably come in handy. So just kind of keep that in mind. Bam. And for me, I'm going to be putting this onto the second level, and you're like, well, why are you going to do that? Well, for me, I want to make sure that I had enough room plus wire length. Like I said, the most important thing you got to remember, guys, is a wire length. And bam. And now I'm putting in, now there are riser stands up underneath the motherboard for anybody that's new here. And what those riser stands do is it stops your motherboard from just laying on the aluminum frame and short-circuiting out. Bam, just like this. Teeny tiny screws, guys. Gotta love them. Bam, like that. Oop. Now I gotta move just one of the risers. This is how you can tell it's real, dude. I didn't even realize this, so I've gotta move one of the stands back so that it fits the hole right. There we go. Just like that. Bam. All right. Now everything fits. And need me a little screwdriver. Which I have right over here. Bam. And now you don't have to have your screwdriver being huge. It doesn't have to, you don't have to tighten it down really tight. It's just there to keep things from falling. So bam, just like that. Come on. Cooperate with me, get in your home. Yeah. There we go. Bam, just like that. So now, the motherboard's secured in there. Bam. Any questions so far, guys? Any whatsoever? If you guys got any other questions, I'm gonna keep pushing forward. So now, like I said, now the motherboard can actually secure. It's secured in there. It ain't gonna move now. Whenever I built the lower half of this frame, I put this acrylic plastic piece down here. This is actually for holding the power supplies. I didn't think about it whenever I built it, but I want it on the second level so that the cables will reach graphics cards on the top and on the bottom part. That's a good thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these off really quick. And these weren't put on all that tight, so. And these are like what they call like cam lock. So as you tighten them, they kind of lock right into place. So you just got to press them, make sure they're in the groove. There we go. In the groove, just like that. Bam. Just like that. Bam. Now, I'll be able to hook the power supply up onto the second level. And I know Nerd will. Uh-oh. We have a question? Okay, got a question here. Nerd's like, when Lambo? It depends on what your Lambo dream is, of course. What am I going to mine with this rig? I will try Ethereum, Ethereum Classic. Let's see here. I need to turn my screen a little bit. There we go. Now I can read everything clearly because it's like so much further away now. So I'm going to be putting in 4 GTX 1080s into here. One of them being right here. Yo, check that out, guys. Zotac GTX 1080 Ti. This thing takes 2 8-pins in there, which I'm well equipped for. And then, yep, so 4 cards in here. I'll be mining a various amount of things. Nerd will be very pleasantly surprised, but I'm going to be putting in a Corsair RM1000X. So this is a very power efficient 1000-watt power supply, and gets even more, check it out, dig it guys, gets even more efficient at 220 watts. I highly recommend, in my own opinion, if you're able to, run them at 220 volt. This way you're running these at a lot more efficiency. Best on 220, yes nerd, most certainly. I told you you'd like the fact that I had this. Yo! So, you will have more stable power at 220 volts. If at all possible, you know, you can run them at 110. It's just not as, the 110's not as efficient. Running 220, you tend to drop your amperage. And that's pretty much what you get charged for from the electric company. You don't get charged how many watts you used this month. You get charged for how many amps you used, because amps is the measurement of work in electricity. Amps cause heat, and that's what you're trying to dissipate on a larger rig. So, all good questions. Oh, this is like, with all the cabling, oh, this is heavy. Oh. Let's just turn it upside down. Like, vacuum sucks itself into the box. It's like, oh my gosh. Get this up out of my way. So, bam. So, let's get the skivvy on this, guys. All right. So, what's nice about this is you get 6. Let's see, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are for power supply going to the top of the graphics card. So you get 6 ports off of this to power up the power up graphics cards. Then you get 4 peripherals, which will be your SATAs. So if you really look at it, this one effectively handles 4 large cards. 4. If you start putting in more cards, the risers plugging into here, you may come into stability issues. I'm not guaranteeing it, but you may. Actually, oh wait a minute, these are peripherals down here. So you get 6 and 6. So you can power up 6 smaller cards, but you want to make sure your how can I put it? You don't want to go more than 80% of the power supply's total wattage. Otherwise, you are really stressing out and causing a lot of heat internally. And I also know that some of these have to be used for the motherboard, so you don't get to use all of this because some of this has got to power this. And let's go ahead and drop this bad boy in. Should I put you here? Let's see here. Alright, bam. Just like that. And then it's got 2 little screws to kind of help hold these right on in. Alright. Bam. Now, this isn't moving anywhere. Bam. Now to pull out all the cabling for this. So we got 6-pin dual 8-pin to 6-pin. These are for graphics cards, so I'll put that off to the side. I have another one. Put that off to the side. Now again, I got all this equipment used, so hey, Kentucky Derby boy, what's happening? Yo, glad you made it to the party. Yo. So now you get to sit there and watch everything get built. So Kentucky Derby boy, if you got any questions, certainly feel free to ask anytime. All right, got some more graphics card wiring. Alright, now we're starting to get into some of the SATA. So the SATA is what I'm going to be using to power up the risers. Alright, so I can put that off to the side over there. I got another SATA. Alright. Got some, now these power supplies, because we're in the US, they come with 110 cable. You can buy 220 volt wire to go in there. It is a C13 to like C19 wire, and then you can get something like a 30 amp power distribution unit of some sort, that like from Triplite or something like that. I use Triplite myself. Very well trusted name. Alright, then we got some of that Molex. Now this is what I'm going to be using to power up the Molexes right on the motherboard itself. So let's go ahead. I can put this in right meow. Now I will be getting zip ties and stuff like that once everything is done, just to help clean everything up. A nice tidy rig is an easy rig to clean. Is not only easy to clean, but easy to maintenance. let's see here. How do I want to route you? Now you can sit there and kind of get a little sneaky with it if you want, like I'm about to do. I'm going to loosen this power supply up and kind of pull it up a little bit so that I can actually pass this right in between here. Now, because it's plugged in now, some of these wires get a little bit harder to press into the board, so try to make sure you support the motherboard a little bit when you're pressing these in. Bam, just like that. You can come back down. Alright. Now I can lock this down. And bam. Now it looks nice and tidy. Alright, now I'm looking for a CPU. Hey, look at that. Ask for it and you shall receive. Alright. Alright. And of course I'll kind of come right up underneath here if I can. Oh, you're gonna make me lift this up. Now I'm trying to make this a little tighter. But it looks like I don't want to make. Now try not to do like crazy hard bends. A little bend here and there is not so bad, but I don't want to do hard bends. Hard bends causes wires to break. And what I'll do is I will come back through on this and I will drop a zip tie or two to the rig frame here to help hold the wire in place, and it just stays nice and clean when you do that. And whenever I get done, I'll show you how clean the wire is if you sit there and kind of route it out first of where you're going to place it. The next one shall be the main CPU, the main motherboard power. When you plug this bad boy into your motherboard, try to support underneath the motherboard. This one takes a little bit more force to click it in. Alright, bam, just like that. Now you're seeing how I'm like kind of laying this out here. I'm gonna lay this out and I'm gonna put zip ties onto this. Alright. You know what? And I forgot to grab my zip ties. Hey babe. In there, right over by the screen on the dresser, is my thing of zip ties. Thank you, baby. Awesome. So, thank you. So, all right. So now that's pretty much the motherboard is all done up. So here I'm gonna. Anybody got any questions at all so far? Oh, one other thing, there are black handled wire cutters in there. I think it was in about the same spot. Awesome. Gotta have the crypto life, yo. All right. All right, and then I got my little wire cutters here just so that I can snip the ends off. Bam. And it already starts looking clean. And I can sit there and put one around you, because that's pretty much all that's coming around the front. Bam. Now if you notice, I'm not letting these ends just go flying. That's not right. Shouldn't just let them snip and fly. And then these don't have to be like gorilla tight. It's just enough to keep the wires from like moving around and stuff. Just to make it look good. Right here. And now what I'm doing underneath here is I'm just kind of laying out the wires so that I can throw a zip tie on it and just kind of help hold it in place. So I found where I want it. Now I can just throw another zip tie right here. Bam. So now, that looks clean. Yo, Gundy! Yo, what's going on? Let's see here. Yep, throwing it down. Alright, so. Let's see here. Looks like I have the RAM on here. I have the CPU in play. CPU's got power. CPU fans plugged in. I have Molexes on here. Yeah, I think it's actually time to start putting graphics cards on here. Now, like I was saying, there was a reason why I wanted this one on the second rack and not the very bottom. It's easier for my graphics cards wiring to come up over here than it is to try to drop all the way down to the very, very bottom down there. So, location is sometimes key. And we're going to go ahead start slotting this. Now, these are two 6 GPU rig frames stacked together for 12. So I've got 12 slots all together. Now, what I'm going to do here is there are black slots and white slots. Black slots are all basically side A. White slots are basically side B. So always start off in your black slots so that you can remember your ordering. So it goes from the 16 long slot, the PCI 16 slot is 0. Everything starts off with 0. 0 to a computer is still a valid number. So you go from the long slot being 0, so that's where you plug in your first graphics card into, and then the very top black one is slot 1, and then coming down 2, 3, 4, and 5. So for a total of 6 on side A. So we're going to go ahead and put one of the graphics cards in. Alright. Now you're going to notice that I do not have enough basically to fill out this rig frame all the way, but again, you DCA into your rigs, guys. Always DCA. I don't know how well you guys are hearing me. Ugh. So yeah, definitely gonna be DCAing into your rigs as often as you can. That's pretty much what I do. I've future-proofed myself. So I've got this 12 GPU frame. I've got a 12 GPU mining board, but I've only got 4 cards right now, which means I've got to get more. Bam. So that's tight. Now these don't have to be like gorilla tight when you're tightening down the screws for your GPU. That holds them in place. It is aluminum. You got steel screws going into an aluminum frame, so don't go too tight, guys. You're gonna strip stuff out. So bam, just like that. So now this card's not gonna move anywhere. I like that. And considering that this one takes 2 8-pins, I make sure that I grab a plug that's got 2 8-pins on it. Bam. Then you'll watch me kind of stretch this out a little bit, and I'm kind of just gaining a little, I'm trying to leave a little slack on this. I'm just kind of gauging how much I can take up the slack on that. I'm like, okay, cool. Itch on the foot. So, we'll go ahead and start plugging you in. Got one in. Now these 6 to 8 pins, they can be a pain in the you know what, to get them to stay together sometimes. If anybody's done this before, you know what I'm talking about. As this one starts to fight me. Awesome. Alright, get in. Get in your home. There we go. There we go. Bam. Just like that. Bam. Alright. And we get a good gauge of where you're going to live life. Awesome. So you're going to live life like that. Now, you can sit there and start zip tying them in a little bit, and then leave the bulk until the very end. It makes it easier if you got to separate it. And again, don't go too crazy tight on snugging up your wiring, because you've got to do maintenance on these things. You want to be able to pull them apart. So, bam. So now this one's got some wire length to it, and I can snip this end off. And I will fixate affix the last of the zip ties right at the end, so I can clean them up all at the same time. And we'll get one of these awesome risers in now. Alright. Now I like to use the SATAs for doing the risers themselves. Alright, bam. pass you on the inside. Pass you all up on the inside here. Bring you to the top. Go around. Right here. I got a little bit of slack up onto here, and I'm gonna fix you to here. You're gonna run real flat right up against here. Okay. What kind of questions we got going on here? Let me come up over here. Yes, Crypto Steve, your fans. Yes, your fans will blow heat out the top of it, but I really wouldn't worry about it as long as you can get like enough airflow around your graphics cards. You should be fine. 100%, you won't have any problems. If it's breathing stagnated air, it's like you. If you're in a shed and it's stagnant in there, you're not going to want to be in there either. So just make sure that there's enough airflow on everything, and you're going to be good to go. Yeah, the air, exactly, nerd, perfect. Yeah, I couldn't say it any better. Yeah, we use the rig frame fans that I can affixate onto this back section here that will hold like 120 millimeter fans. Get fans that will push about 80 CFM, and you'll be good to go. Otherwise, you can just get a box fan, like a 20-inch box. Yeah, exactly, nerd. 20-inch box fan, put it right in front of the rig, and it will live life very beautifully. Oh, yes, Gundy. That is absolutely true. That's some knowledge bomb right there. Even in your PC, main PC, there is a little bit of science in how that thing has to breathe. Now, not all of the companies do that, Gundy. There are some bad designs on airflow on cases. So always be careful, do a little research. But yeah, you can definitely just put box fans on your stuff just to kind of blow a little bit of that heat away from your graphics card, and everything will be fine. But that's just me. All right, back to the build. So, we got power to the one graphics card now. We've got the riser with power. Now we got to give it some, a way to be able to get data up and over. So, that's where this nice red wire comes in. So, bam. Now you're seeing how I'm like kind of making sure I've got the right lengths down and all this good stuff, because it's got to slot in way over here. From underneath, it's got to come up to here. So it doesn't really give me a whole lot of room to play with this particular wire. Now as I come more underneath it, this wiring is going to be perfect. As I come more over here, it's going to be an issue. So let's go ahead and move forward. So I mean, if you only had the one graphics card, guys, you could stop here turn this thing on and start mining on one card. Yeah, this is ready to start mining as we speak. But I've got a few more cards to go. All right. Now the next one, the first one was a Zotac. This one is a Gigabyte GTX 1080 Ti. So everything I've got are all Ti variants. You'll notice that the Gigabyte one's actually one of the smaller ones. And this one actually does an 8-pin and a 6-pin, guys. So check it out. Boom. Well, Gundy, if your birthday is Saturday, well, happy early birthday. Yee-ho! Alright, so let's go ahead and get the next card in. All right, bam. Summer starts Friday. Oh, damn. Does it?
Yep, the solstice.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even realize that. Man, this year is like flying. Wow.
Yep.
All right.
Not 100% sure, but I think so.
Oh, wow. Go ahead and get this 8-pin in, and we'll go ahead and drop the 6-pin in. Yo. Come on. All right, bam.
No, full moon was yesterday.
Kind of also remember which way your cable wants to twist. And remember, if you twist it right, it'll lay better. All right, here. Now, I'm going to use a zip tie to hold it at the end because this is all going to get zip tied together in bulk. So I can go ahead and zip tie some of the ends. Da-da-da-da. That looks clean. All right. All right. I have another one. Cool. All right. So, got me another Give me another riser piece. One of these really heavy duty risers. Jeez, wow. Now this is where you start running into your conundrum. So unless you have like custom wiring and stuff like that, you're not going to be able to like run it off to the side and have enough length. So this is where you start having like some of the spidering of wiring from whenever you have oddball areas like this. Get this in here just like that. All right. So excellent. All right. Bam. Now to hook up the next wire to it. Awesome. Now some of these are going to be a little on the tight side, so don't just jam stuff in there. Take your time. And again, the first card went into the long slot. Now the second one is going into the first black slot closest to the CPU processor. Yo! So now I've got 0 and 1. So now I've got 2 cards that are pretty much ready to go. We can fire up this as a 2-card rig. But there's more. Got ourselves an MSI armor. Yo! Go ahead and open this bad boy up.
One of each.
Huh?
One of each.
Almost. Now I have a thing where I prefer triple fan variants just because they tend to stay a little cooler. But for the good deal that I got from Wasabi Ninja, I got one of the dual fan armor editions. This is a dual 8-pin also, so it is what it is. Ooh, giggity. Minor prawn hits bare circuitry. Alright. Let's get this one ready. Bam, just like that. Alright. Moist podgies. Tingles in the podgies. Oh yeah. The tingles are real. Alright. And again, these don't have to be like the world's most tightest things in there. It's aluminum, guys. Do not be like Hercules. Come on. have a love-hate relationship with these these 6 to 8 pin connectors. Come on. I'm trying to do this so that you guys can see what I'm doing, but now it's creating a struggle for me. There we go. Come on. Oh, stupid thing. Come on, there we go. Oh, bingo, got it. Oh, like I said, love-hate relationship with these things. And if you see me here, I'm doing like a little loop over here. What I'm trying to do is I'm taking up some of the slack and I'm needing to know where I need to put it. Gave it a little twist before I plugged it, so now it's gonna want to stay life right here. I just gave it a reason to stay there. Oop. I'm gonna fling one of the things over there. That was awesome. Fling. Alright. Anybody got any kind of questions? Maybe I might start handing out some wrenches whenever I get ooh. Should I talk about it? Oh, them private groups on Yen might come with some wrenches on my channel. Oh, would you be interested in that, Gundy? All right, so that over a little bit, but bam, look at that. Now I got a central spot where I can actually, so this is going to be my central spot right here, right through this section here, to actually grouping all the wires and not being too tight. That's what it's looking like, so bam. Oh, now I need another one of these really nice expensive risers. Right here, come on, slide in, bam. Just like that. Now this is where I get into debates with people. Some people are like, well, you can hook up 1 or 2 risers to each other. I tend to not. That's just me. I know people who have, I know people who don't. It's completely up to you. I've had them where it's not very stable at times. Whenever you're linking too much stuff together. Everything has a power draw, so you got to make sure that your power draw is not more than what the line you're putting them onto is going to handle. You know, just for that, you get a gold sticker. Yo! Oh, hold on. You get a gold sticker for that one. Yo! Let's see here. Nice, nice, nice. All right, here. So, now we get into looping the next one over onto this. All right. Alright, get you up here, and bam, just like that. Well, bam. Now, the last one. This one is the one that gets Mikkel just a little jealous. Just a little, guys. This one is the one that Mikkel really wanted. The MSI Duke. Dun dun dun. So, this is the one that gets Mikkel, Crypto Mikkel, all giddy. And thank you, Wasabi Ninja, if you are watching. Oh. Get out of my way. Oh, so check it out, guys. Bam. Uh-oh. Mikkel's got explosions going on over there. Watch out, watch out. So this thing is, it's a pretty heavy card. And one thing I did notice on it is that the cooler is bigger than the board itself. Kind of fun. This one should stay pretty cool, I think. Tissue's handy. Moist podgies, oh yeah. Too funny. And guys, if you haven't already done so, smash them Lizzy like buttons, guys. Just smash it away. And if you haven't done it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Share these videos with other people. I mean, it helps me grow my channel and getting some of that knowledge out to more people. Yo! Then you can see my crypto kitty off to the side here. He always thinks he's helping when he's standing over there. Alright, so this thing is pretty much built out on the bottom side. So all the 1080s I have on hand, I got one in my PC, but I really just don't want to give that one up. Just because I do video editing and I do live streaming, and everything kind of helps out with how my own personal PC works. So I'll just have to get some more 1080 Ti's if I can find a good deal on them, of course. All right. Oop. It looks like I need to go into the mining room and grab one more wire. So I got enough for the... there we go. Got enough for the graphics cards, but I just need to grab one more SATA. Again, this is all used equipment, so God knows, you know, where the original wiring went. So, whatever. I got a good deal on them. Got them from one of the developers from VertCoin, guys. Yo! So, thank you guys over at Vert for hooking me up with some power supplies. Come on. Of course, there's always got to be one to fight you. Now stop fighting me. There we go. Gotta have sometimes some strong words with it. You're like, you scumbum, cum bum, blah 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 blah. This one's a little bit of a newer wire. Whew. Oh, come on. The struggle is real. Get in there. Come on, yeah. Oh, 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 I got it. Oh, I got that last one. All right. Bam, just like that. All right. Bam. And I still have to do my main wire bundle here, and that'll clean all of this up right here. And then I still have to deal with these couple of wires down here. Let's get the next riser on there. And if anybody has any kind of questions, certainly do ask. I haven't seen the chat move here in a second. Bam. And alright, bam. Alright, so let's go ahead and And go ahead and plug your bad little butt in here. Oop. Helps if it's getting plugged in, right? Alright, and as you can see here, how the wires are kind of coming up between the cards. Make sure that the wiring doesn't try to interfere with the fans. Otherwise, these fans will slice through the wires by rubbing through it over time. So just kind of make sure nothing is obstructing the fans. I have to grab one wire. Alright. Close that. Now I gotta make sure that the SATAs are the same. Oop.
I'll get it.
Alright. These are not the same. All right. Let's see here. What's the difference on you? Oh, you're way different. All right. Wrong power supply, obviously. Okay, here, so what I can do at this point, if I've got another one of you, nope. This is one of the drawbacks of getting some used equipment too. Alright, here, so that's CPU. That's wrong SATA. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to have to hook up one of the other SATAs into this one. Alright, bam. Alright, done and done. I thought I had another one. I probably do. I just gotta find the other power supply box. You know what? I know where that's at too. You know what? Now I'm gonna do it. Damn it. Here we go. I know I got another, I have to have another SATA in here. Because I've got another one of these. Oh, come on. Get out of my way. Open box. Come on now. Alright, so here's my extra cables. Is there SATA in here or Molex? Oh, it's only Molex. So They just don't come with enough. So, alright, bam. It's getting plugged in like this because these power supplies don't come with enough SATA to do things the way I want to. Whatever, that's fine by me. No biggie. So now time to make some of these wires clean up a little bit more. Yes, Gandhi, 100%. They are your biggest number one failure. That's why I've got the Gen 9s. The Gen 9s seem to work from what that I hear. So I'm just gonna go with that. I'm testing them out. They are a little pricey. Clip. Another one. Alright, bam. Right, bam. Alright, bam. Just like that. Nice and clean, guys. All with one power supply, four graphics cards on one motherboard. Yo. Alright, let me clean up just a little bit around where I'm sitting at here. Get that out of my way, get that out of my way. Alright. Kentucky Derby boy, what color risers did you get? Let's see here. I think I'm at that point where I can actually fire this up, I think. Ooh. So let's see if this thing tries to fire up on the first try, guys. Ooh. Alright. I've got a power cable there. I've got a monitor over here. And monitor's got power. Alright, so let's see if this thing boots the BIOS. That's usually step one. If it boots the BIOS, then you could pretty much, for the most part, say that the rig is pretty much done. So let's check it out. Power on to the power supply. Now, this is a used power supply, so I have no idea if this is a good power supply or not. The motherboard itself has a on-off or a power on button and a reset button. So I can turn it on from here and just go blink. Okay. Well, that was uneventful. There we go. Everything's turning on. Yo, look at that. Wow, them risers are colorful. Holy cow. We got red and blue on these risers. Oh, look at that, guys. Oh, guys, check this out. It booted the BIOS. Yo! We have a live rig. Oh, snaps. So, that tells me everything is, for the most part, it is working. All I've got to do is slide in some my USB into this for Hive. I'll probably steal it out of my rig that's sitting here right on the table and put it over here and get this thing to mining. Yo! So, anybody have any kind of questions whatsoever, guys? Kryptonito, what's happening, buddy? You kind of missed it, Kryptonito, if you weren't here from the very beginning. Let's go into here and bam. So, Kryptonito, if you haven't been checking it out, I've already been putting together one of these. So this is a 4 GPU 1080 Ti rig. So yo, let's see here. The board is red and the riser is light blue. Is it like this? Because like if you look at them, like right here, it's got, let's see if it'll focus. Come on, focus. Focus, I said. Oh, you want to do it? Version 6. So this one's a version 6. These ones are kind of poopy. They make ones like this, which were black with the blue on there. Those were, I think, the version 7s. They're all right. These ones are the version SU103Cs. These were, I didn't have any issues with these ones. Let's just say that I had 12 of them. One of them crapped out on me. Whatever. But now I've got the version 9s in here. And from what everybody tells me, that the version 9s are a lot more okay, yes, I was right. Okay, those are the version 7s. So the version 7s are pretty much really close to how the SU the SU 103Cs are. So they're decent. They're not the worst ones, but they will fail. They usually the 6s and 7s usually fail on a power outage. It's whenever they power down and then reboot back up, it like fries. So it's not going to start a fire on you or anything like that. They just, like, when they boot back up, like either you'll have a missing card on the rig, or you'll have actually, I won't need to, DTech. DTech just asked if I was going to be updating the BIOS on this. This is a brand new motherboard. I haven't needed the BIOS update any of them unless I was trying to run 13 GPUs, which I'm not. I haven't found any time that I've ran into any issues. If I run into an issue with them running stability wise, or just like I want to hook up, like let's say I hit 10 cards, I put number 11 in and it doesn't want to read it, I'll do the BIOS update then. Not good for your Florida thunderstorms. Yeah, so the ones that I've got here, let me show you one more time. So let me show you. So these ones here are the version 9s. So the version 9s are pretty beast. So here's the version 9s. Here's what you pretty much have, Kentucky Derby Boy. So as you can see, I've got a bunch of extra capacitors here, a lot more capacitors, so this thing will handle a discharge a lot more effectively. It'll also handle a recharge back on there where it's being re-energized. Because of the capacitors in there, it'll absorb it a lot better. And then if you notice around on the expansion slot where the graphics card itself gets plugged in, it's actually got a metal shield around it. I'm thinking that it's for two things. One, it shields the data lanes from all the electronics, so you don't have like an electrical interference on there, and then also gives a little extra support. So this is actually a more robust one. This is the one that everybody's been telling me, oh, you need this one. This is the last one you'll ever get. So I forked out the little extra money for it. These bad boys are not cheap. These ones, I think I paid maybe $4 or $5 a piece on them. These ones were like 12. So think about if you're trying to expand to a big farm, you're wanting good equipment, but at a cheap price. So you got to balance that out. So if you're replacing 1 out of 12 all the time, you might want to just get one of these because your time's worth money too. So you don't want to be sitting there rooting around for a bad riser just because you had a power outage and came back on. Unless you're sitting there and running all your equipment on power conditioners and all of that good stuff, and that itself starts to become expensive too. So kind of keep in mind, it's a little balancing act. So does anybody have any kind of questions whatsoever? I am here to definitely answer any kind of questions. Yeah, it's pretty much one of these per graphics card. So this, whenever you're putting a graphics card into a motherboard, let's say for your PC, you're building your PC. It's basically you're plugging into the motherboard. It's one of these slots. So this is just an adapter so that you can put your GPU in a different location other than having to put it onto your motherboard. Otherwise, if you put it on your motherboard, most graphics cards will end up covering a couple of the extra by 1 slots, where it's got 1x16 slot and then a bunch of by 1 slots. So you want to remote plug in everything you have. This way it just runs smooth. All right. Any other questions? Oh, what does the cable look like? Oh, that's a good question. So, this is the cable. So, it is a USB 3.0. How you can tell it's a 3.0 cable, you might ask also. If you see in there, it's got a little blue tab in there. If it was a 2.0, it'd be black. This one's blue. So you can tell this is a 3.0 cable. Yo. So, and then this is the by one slot, the by one adapter. So this allows you to pass data from your graphics card through this to the motherboard. So, and whenever you're plugging into the motherboard, it plugs in there just like that. And if you notice even on this, that it's not using any of this back here, well, this is just to help power the graphics card. Most of the data that it cares about comes from the very front section of this, is where the real data comes from. The rest of it is normally power lanes, some video lanes, because of the fact that it's not trying to be, we're not using it as a graphical processing unit, we are using it as a mining hardware. We don't need to worry about all the data lines that it possesses. We only need to worry about the front tip of it, just the tip, the tippity top. Any other questions? These are good questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. I know there's like a 20-second delay now. Has anybody got any other questions? Oh, and guys, if you haven't done so, definitely smash that Lizardy like button, subscribe, share these videos with your friends, put it on Twitter, anywhere. Help get the word out so that I can help other people. Crypto Mikkel with the mining question. Is it a C31 monster? Yes, it should be. All of those are 11 gigabyte variants. And that thing, I should be able to just point at nice hash or something like that, or just mine directly Grin and exchange that stuff right away, because Grin's pumping hard. If you're trying to get some of them quick gains, don't hodl that stuff. I always say it, mining shit coins for Bitcoin. It's not for one thing, D-Tech, it's not a slot thingy. This, what D-Tech is referring to is that on the H110, like I was saying, that on the motherboard, these pieces get really close to each other. So if you see the back side, there's a couple little pins, solder pins on there, and I suggest to put a little bit of electrical tape. Real easy, just electrical tape. You just go little stick of it on there, just so that if these things ever try to wiggle in the motherboard, that those solder joints that are right here doesn't try to touch the USB 3.0 outer casing, and it'll just ground it right to the motherboard. May do some damage. I don't know. Whenever I plugged them in, I didn't like how close they went together, so I just made sure I taped them up. I'm an electrical guy. I deal with hot rods. I deal with cars. It's something that if I see bare circuitry, bare electronics, and it comes in close proximity to anything else, I start thinking about how I can protect it. And the easiest way is to just slap just a little stick of electrical tape right over that, and then you don't have to worry about nothing. You can sit there and wrap it all the way around if you want to go the extra good measure. You can. Yeah, don't let it smoke out. All right, so anybody got any other questions?
Planning to do any testing?
Oh, the wife has had a question. which was, do I plan on doing any kind of testing on this? Well, I'm going to test how this thing eats up Vertcoin, eats up some of that Monero maybe. I don't know how it works on, how that 1080 works on Hive, but I know it's going to be more of an AMD thing for Monero, but just so that I have the numbers of what that rig does on Monero versus my AMD rig. And put that thing onto some of that Ethereum Classic. Oh, that should be an interesting one. Ethereum Classic on 1080s with that eighth enlargement pill. Oh, dude, that's a win right there. Oh, show the build mining Grin 31. I certainly can do that. That I possibly can do, or at least I might not show the rig maybe, but I can at least show stats. That's for sure. Anybody got any other kind of questions? Oh, Cryptonito, that's a good question. What do you want for a power source? So you can use 110. I suggest, if you're able to, run 220. The reason being that you want to run 220 is, one, you get charged with the amount of amperage you use in your household. You don't get charged on the wattage being used, and you don't get charged because you've got 110 coming in or 220 coming in. When you run 220, if something was taking, let's say, 14 amps, it's now going to run at 7 on 220. It's going to take half the amperage to do the same work. So if you can run 220, you're going to drop half your amperage, give or take, half to a third you're going to be running at. A half to 2/3. You'll be running in that range. So you will drop your amount of amperage, which means you save money. This is one great way, as Mikkel would say, plugging a hole in your leaky bucket. Yo. Oh, Cordic. You see, I can tell you right now where I got all this awesome, juicy equipment from. From that yiggityyen.io, guys. So I got all of this stuff, Cordic, used from my man Wasabi Ninja on the yen.io. Ooh. Yo. That yen.io. There you go, Cordic. Dropping them link. Anybody got any other questions? I'm coming up onto that 2-hour mark. It seems like every time I build a rig, it's 2 hours. Where'd you get the hallelujah from? Actually, I got that from the Doge Lord himself. He gave me all of his sound bites. Yo.
That was legitness. Yeah, it was, huh?
There you go, Mikkel. Thank you for dropping that awesome link to the island, guys. If you guys haven't checked it out, right here, guys. Check it out. Get on that waiting list if you haven't. You want to be on the island. This way you get to have some of that knowledge bombs behind the scenes from me and my man, Crypto Mikkel, that you can see in the chat. Yo. Oh, Cordic, I didn't even know that. Handle from Messiah, huh? Interesting. Yeah, I could pretty much summarize the basic build. Get a mining motherboard or any motherboard. Put a CPU in it. Put a cooler on a CPU with some thermal grease between the two, sandwich them two together, put some of that RAM in there, because it needs at least, I would say at least 8 gigs of RAM to make everything run smoothly. And then just plugging in graphics cards, plugging in your power supply into its appropriate spots, making sure that the fan's in its fan headers. You know, got to make sure everything stays cool. Once you plug in all the wires, you can flip the switch, hit the button, it's good to go. Some motherboards do not come with the little the power on button on the motherboard, and you might have to get yourself a power cable to be a little power on off button. Actually, I can pull it off of here. So this is what I'm talking about. So this is a little on off button. Plug this into the motherboard. Some of the panels will have instructions. If you do not know where to plug this in on your motherboard, revert to your instruction manual. It says it. Rock on, Kentucky Derby boy. Oh yeah, like I said, I've got a D-Tech. I've got a USB running Hive over here on my other rig, and I'm going to be powering that one down because that's actually supposed to be my Linux build. So I'll be able to actually pull my thumb drive out of there, put it into here, and start mining away. Probably be doing that here in a moment. Slacker. Anybody else got any kind of questions?
Zeus. Dad doesn't need help.
Get back to work. No problem, Kryptonito. Thank you, D-Tech. Thank you. So I take it nobody's got any other questions for me? And if nobody's got any other questions, so, all right, guys. It looks like everybody's ran out of them awesome questions for me. I hope that you guys found this very informative. If you have any questions at all, definitely rewind and watch this stuff over again in case you missed anything. And if you've got any issues that have arisen since you were building your rig, definitely drop some comments in down below. And come hit me up in my Discord, which I actually have off. Ooh, I do not have my Discord up. I need to get my Discord link going here. Oops. Let's see here. Go over to here. And we'll go ahead, copy link, paste, and bam. Really? Fine. We'll do it here. Bam. Okay, it's not letting me post my Discord link for whatever reason. I don't know why. I said copy. Well, maybe I do that. Thank you, Mikkel. For whatever reason, Discord record or YouTube was erroring out on me. It said error, try again. That was amazing. I do not know why. Let me... Yeah. It will not let me post my link. That's amazing. Okay, whatever. But Mikkel got it. If you check it out, definitely hop in there if you guys got any kind of questions whatsoever. And I will definitely see you all on the next one. It was a great 2-hour show, and I hope you all found this informative. And I will definitely catch you all on the next one. Peace.